Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak about a love that's often overlooked, ignored, or misunderstood, a love so transformative it can change your life. It's the love you give yourself. So many of us pour our energy into loving others, our families, our friends, our partners, and while that love is beautiful, it's incomplete if it doesn't start with the person staring back at you in the mirror. Self-love is not selfish. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Self-love is not selfish. It's necessary. It's the foundation of every meaningful relationship you'll ever have. How can you pour into others when your own cup is empty? How can you truly embrace the beauty in someone else if you can't see it in yourself? Loving yourself more than anyone doesn't mean you don't care about others. It means you care enough about yourself to set boundaries, to say no when you're stretched too thin, to walk away from relationships that don't honor your worth, to look at your flaws, your mistakes, your scars, and say, I am still worthy of love. When you love yourself deeply, you set the standard for how others treat you. You teach the world your value by the way you treat yourself. So if you've been waiting for permission to choose you, to prioritize your peace, to embrace your joy, here it is. Loving yourself sets the tone for how you treat others and how you allow others to treat you. When you honor your worth, you teach the world to do the same. Prioritizing yourself doesn't mean neglecting others, it means you show up as your best self. An empty cup can't pour into others, take time to refill yours. Saying no is a powerful way of protecting your peace and energy. Boundaries create space for your growth and help define your self-worth. Small wins matter, acknowledge them, and let them fuel your self-confidence. Self-celebration is a reminder that you are worthy of love and joy. Loving yourself means accepting your flaws and scars as part of your unique story. Perfection isn't the goal, authenticity and growth are. It's not a destination, it's a practice. Start with small acts of kindness toward yourself. Loving yourself is not just an act of self-care, it's the cornerstone of every meaningful relationship you will ever have. When you love yourself, you set a powerful standard for how you expect to be treated, both by yourself and by others. It creates a foundation of respect, boundaries, and self-worth that influences every interaction in your life. Without self-love, relationships often become imbalanced, where the need for external validation overshadows the ability to give and receive genuine care. Imagine a house built on a shaky foundation. No matter how beautiful the structure, if the ground beneath it is unstable, it cannot stand for long. That's how relationships are without self-love. They may begin with excitement and connection, but over time, cracks start to show. You might find yourself bending over backward to please others, accepting treatment that doesn't align with your values, or losing sight of your individuality in the process of trying to keep someone else happy. When you love yourself, you eliminate the need for approval from outside sources because you've already validated your worth from within. Self-love teaches you to recognize your value. It's about knowing that you are deserving of kindness, respect, and care, not because of what you do or achieve, but simply because you exist. When this belief is firmly rooted, it becomes a protective shield. You no longer tolerate disrespect or settle for less than what aligns with your needs and desires. This doesn't mean you become selfish or dismissive of others. Rather, it allows you to engage in relationships from a place of abundance, not lack. When you love yourself, you become more authentic in your relationships. There's no need to wear masks or pretend to be someone you're not to gain acceptance. You feel free to express your thoughts, emotions, and vulnerabilities because your self-worth isn't tied to how others perceive you. This authenticity fosters deeper connections because the people in your life experience the real you. They're drawn to your confidence, and the relationships that form are built on genuine mutual respect and understanding. Loving yourself also helps you set healthy boundaries. Boundaries are not walls to shut people out. They are guidelines that show others how to treat you. They communicate what is acceptable and what isn't, allowing you to protect your emotional well-being. Without self-love, setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable, as though you're being difficult or unkind. But when you value yourself, you understand that boundaries are an act of love, not just for you, but for those around you. They create clarity and prevent resentment from building up, allowing relationships to flourish without unnecessary tension. In relationships, self-love ensures that you're not pouring from an empty cup. It's impossible to give to others fully when you're running on empty. Taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally allows you to show up for others in a more present and meaningful way. It's not about being perfect, it's about being whole. When you prioritize your well-being, you radiate positivity and strength, which uplifts the people around you. Your energy becomes a source of inspiration rather than a cry for help. Self-love also diminishes the fear of rejection. When you're secure in your worth, rejection doesn't define you. It becomes an event, not a reflection of your value. This resilience allows you to navigate relationships with less fear and more openness. You understand that losing someone's approval doesn't mean losing yourself. This mindset creates space for healthier relationships where love and connection are based on mutual respect rather than fear of loss. In moments of conflict, self-love acts as a guide. It helps you respond rather than react. When you love yourself, you're less likely to internalize criticism or let disagreements spiral into self-doubt. Instead, you approach situations with clarity, knowing your worth isn't at stake. This calmness often leads to better communication and resolution, strengthening the bond you have with others. Self-love doesn't mean you stop caring about others, it means you care about yourself enough to ensure your relationships are reciprocal. It encourages you to give and receive love in a balanced way. You're no longer stuck in a cycle of overgiving, hoping to earn someone's affection. Instead, you engage in relationships that feel fulfilling and empowering, where love flows freely in both directions. Self-love is often misunderstood as selfishness, but the truth is, it's one of the most selfless things you can do. Taking care of yourself and prioritizing your well-being allows you to show up for others in a more authentic and meaningful way. When you neglect self-love, it doesn't just impact you, it ripples out to everyone around you. You can't pour from an empty cup, and trying to give your best to others while ignoring your own needs leads to burnout, resentment, and disconnection. Loving yourself is not about putting yourself above others, it's about recognizing that you deserve care and compassion just like everyone else. Self-love requires a shift in perspective. Many of us are taught to prioritize others over ourselves, believing that this is what makes us good partners, parents, friends, or colleagues. While caring for others is an essential part of life, it should never come at the expense of your own mental, emotional, or physical health. Without self-love, you may find yourself constantly seeking validation from others, trying to earn approval or love by overextending yourself. This approach not only drains you, but also creates imbalanced relationships where your worth becomes tied to how much you do for others rather than who you are. When you practice self-love, you're making a declaration that your needs, feelings, and dreams matter. It's about creating space in your life to nurture yourself, whether through rest, hobbies, or simply taking a moment to breathe. It's about listening to your inner voice and honoring it even when the world demands otherwise. This doesn't mean ignoring responsibilities or neglecting others. It means finding a balance that allows you to thrive. Self-love is a form of respect. It's saying, I am worthy of the same kindness and care that I give to others. One of the most powerful aspects of self-love is its ability to set boundaries. Boundaries are essential for maintaining healthy relationships and protecting your emotional energy. Without them, you may feel obligated to say yes to everything, even when it leaves you feeling exhausted or unappreciated. When you love yourself, you understand that it's okay to say no. It's okay to prioritize your peace. Saying no doesn't mean you don't care. It means you value your time and energy enough to spend them wisely. Boundaries are an act of self-love that benefits everyone involved, as they prevent misunderstandings and resentment from building up. Self-love also transforms the way you view failure and setbacks. When you love yourself, you're more likely to treat mistakes as opportunities for growth rather than reasons for self-criticism. You give yourself grace and understanding just as you would for a loved one. This shift in mindset allows you to approach challenges with resilience and confidence, knowing that your worth isn't tied to your achievements or failures. Instead of being paralyzed by fear of imperfection, you embrace the journey and learn to appreciate your progress. Practicing self-love doesn't require grand gestures. It's often found in the small, consistent acts of care you show yourself daily. It's choosing to eat nourishing food because your body deserves it. It's taking a break when you're overwhelmed because your mind needs rest. It's speaking kindly to yourself, even on days when you feel far from perfect. These simple actions send a powerful message: you are enough, just as you are. They remind you that your value doesn't depend on what you do or how others see you. It comes from within. Self-love is necessary because it builds a strong foundation for all aspects of your life. When you love yourself, you're better equipped to handle stress, navigate relationships, and pursue your goals. It creates a sense of inner peace and stability that allows you to face life's challenges with grace. You stop looking outward for validation and start finding fulfillment within. This inner strength radiates outward, positively influencing the people around you. When others see you prioritizing your well-being, it inspires them to do the same. Self-love is contagious in the best way possible. Another critical reason self-love is necessary is that it helps you recognize and break free from toxic patterns. When you don't value yourself, you may tolerate unhealthy relationships, environments, or behaviors that diminish your self-esteem. Self-love gives you the courage to walk away from situations that no longer serve you. It empowers you to choose what aligns with your values and supports your growth. This isn't always easy, but it's a profound act of self-respect that leads to a more fulfilling life. Setting boundaries is one of the most profound acts of love you can show yourself and others. It is a way of saying, I value my well-being and respect yours too. Boundaries are not about shutting people out or creating walls to isolate yourself. They are about establishing clear and healthy lines that define what you need to thrive emotionally, mentally, and physically. When you set boundaries, you are prioritizing your peace, your energy, and your self-respect, which ultimately allows you to show up in relationships in a healthier and more authentic way. Boundaries often carry a negative connotation because they can be perceived as selfish or unkind, but this couldn't be further from the truth. Setting boundaries is an act of love because it ensures that you are not overextending yourself to the point of exhaustion or resentment. It's a way of being honest not only with yourself, but also with others about what you can and cannot give. When you communicate your boundaries, you allow people to understand you better, creating a foundation of mutual respect and understanding in your relationships. One of the most significant benefits of setting boundaries is that it protects your energy. Every person has a finite amount of time, energy, and emotional capacity. Without boundaries, you may find yourself saying yes to everything, even at the expense of your own needs. This can leave you feeling drained, overwhelmed, and unappreciated. Boundaries help you prioritize where and how you direct your energy, ensuring that you have enough left for the things and people that truly matter. When you conserve your energy, you can invest it more meaningfully, which ultimately benefits both you and those around you. Setting boundaries is also an act of self-respect. It's about recognizing your own worth and refusing to accept treatment or behavior that undermines it. When you set boundaries, you are telling yourself and others that your feelings, needs, and time are valuable. This self-respect becomes a model for how others should treat you. If you consistently allow your boundaries to be crossed, it sends a message that your limits are flexible or that your well-being isn't a priority. On the other hand, when you enforce your boundaries, you teach others to respect them, creating a healthier dynamic in your relationships. Communicating boundaries can be challenging, especially if you're not used to advocating for yourself. It requires courage to speak up and express your needs, particularly in situations where doing so might lead to discomfort or conflict. However, this discomfort is temporary and ultimately worth it. Clear communication is essential for effective boundaries. When you articulate your needs with honesty and compassion, it opens the door for understanding and collaboration. People who care about you will appreciate your transparency, even if it takes time for them to adjust. And if someone consistently disregards your boundaries, it's a sign that the relationship may not be as healthy or respectful as it should be. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is learning to say no. For many people, saying no feels difficult or even impossible, especially if they fear disappointing others or being perceived as unkind. However, saying no is a critical part of maintaining your boundaries. It's a way of affirming your limits and ensuring that you're not taking on more than you can handle. Saying no doesn't mean you don't care, it means you care. It means you care enough about yourself to recognize when you need to step back. It also means you're being honest with others about what you can realistically offer, which ultimately strengthens trust and respect in your relationships. Boundaries also create space for personal growth. When you set and maintain boundaries, you free yourself from the weight of unrealistic expectations or unnecessary obligations. This space allows you to focus on your goals, passions, and self-improvement. Boundaries give you the freedom to pursue what truly matters to you without being held back by guilt or overcommitment. They enable you to live a more intentional life where your choices align with your values and priorities. One of the most beautiful aspects of boundaries is that they foster healthier relationships. When you set boundaries, you create a framework for mutual respect and understanding. You're not leaving people to guess what you need or how you feel. You're giving them the tools to connect with you in a way that's meaningful and sustainable. Boundaries also prevent resentment from building up. When you suppress your needs to please others, it often leads to feelings of frustration or bitterness. By setting boundaries, you eliminate this tension, allowing your relationships to flourish without the weight of unspoken expectations or unmet needs. Boundaries are also an act of compassion toward others. When you set clear limits, you're being honest about what you can give, which prevents misunderstandings and disappointments. It also encourages others to set their own boundaries, creating a healthier and more balanced dynamic. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They're about taking responsibility for your own well-being and inviting others to do the same. Celebrating yourself daily is an essential practice that fosters self-love, gratitude, and confidence. It's a way of acknowledging your worth and achievements, no matter how small they might seem. In a world that often focuses on external validation and relentless productivity, taking the time to appreciate yourself can feel revolutionary. This isn't about arrogance or vanity. It's about recognizing the value you bring to the world and honoring your unique journey. Celebrating yourself daily is a commitment to seeing your own brilliance, even on days when it feels dim. One of the simplest ways to celebrate yourself is by acknowledging your small victories. Life is made up of countless moments, and not every achievement has to be monumental to be meaningful. Waking up early, completing a task you've been procrastinating on, or taking time for self-care are all reasons to celebrate. These small wins are the building blocks of larger successes, and recognizing them helps you stay motivated and positive. When you pause to appreciate these moments, you remind yourself that progress is progress, no matter the pace. Another way to celebrate yourself is through self-affirmation. The way you speak to yourself has a profound impact on your mindset and self-esteem. Celebrating yourself means replacing self-criticism with self-compassion. Instead of dwelling on mistakes or shortcomings, focus on your strengths and the effort you put into everything you do. Daily affirmations like, "I am enough, I am proud of myself," or "I deserve happiness" can be incredibly empowering. These words serve as gentle reminders that you are worthy of love and respect, starting with your own. Taking time to reflect on your journey is also a powerful way to celebrate yourself. Often, we get so caught up in striving for the next goal that we forget to look back at how far we've come. Reflecting on your growth, the challenges you've overcome, and the lessons you've learned allows you to see the resilience and strength within you. It's a reminder that you faced difficulties before and come out stronger, which is worth celebrating every single day. Self-celebration also involves treating yourself with kindness. This could mean taking a break when you're feeling overwhelmed, indulging in something you love, or simply giving yourself permission to rest. Celebrating yourself is about listening to your needs and honoring them without guilt. It's about recognizing that you don't have to earn the right to care for yourself. You deserve it just because you exist. These acts of kindness toward yourself reinforce the idea that you are valuable and deserving of joy. Gratitude plays a key role in daily self-celebration. By focusing on the things you're grateful for about yourself, you shift your perspective from what's lacking to what's abundant. This could be as simple as appreciating your perseverance, your kindness, or the unique qualities that make you who you are. Gratitude for yourself isn't self-centered. It's an acknowledgement of the gifts you bring to your life and the lives of others. Practicing gratitude not only boosts your mood, but also deepens your sense of self-worth. Celebrating yourself daily also means embracing your imperfections. Perfection is an illusion, and striving for it often leads to frustration and burnout. Instead, celebrate your flaws as part of what makes you human and unique. Every imperfection tells a story, and every mistake is an opportunity to learn and grow. When you accept yourself fully, you free yourself from the pressure to be someone you're not. This acceptance is a profound form of self-celebration, as it allows you to love yourself unconditionally. Another way to celebrate yourself is by taking the time to do things that bring you joy. Whether it's pursuing a hobby, spending time in nature, or simply enjoying a quiet moment with a cup of coffee, these activities are ways of saying, "I deserve happiness." Celebrating yourself means making space for joy in your life, even amidst the chaos and responsibilities. It's about prioritizing what lights you up and fills your soul. Surrounding yourself with positive influences is also a form of self-celebration. The people you allow into your life have a significant impact on how you see yourself. By choosing to be around those who uplift and support you, you reinforce your own belief in your worth. Celebrate the relationships that bring out the best in you and let go of those that drain your energy. This act of self-respect is a powerful way to honor yourself. Embracing your imperfections is one of the most liberating and transformative acts of self-love you can practice. It's about recognizing that perfection is neither attainable nor necessary for a fulfilling life. Society often bombards us with messages that we need to look a certain way, achieve specific milestones, or possess particular skills to be valued. These unrealistic expectations can lead to self-doubt and a constant feeling of inadequacy. Embracing your imperfections is a powerful way to reject these pressures and honor the unique individual you are, flaws and all. Imperfections are not failures, they are what make you human. Each imperfection tells a story, reflecting your experiences, challenges, and growth. They are marks of resilience and reminders of the journey you've undertaken. When you shift your perspective to view imperfections as part of your uniqueness, you begin to see them not as something to hide, but as something to celebrate. Your quirks, flaws, and idiosyncrasies make you who you are, setting you apart in a world that often prizes conformity. Accepting your imperfections also allows you to release the heavy burden of unrealistic expectations. Striving for perfection can be exhausting, often leaving you feeling like you're never enough. When you embrace your imperfections, you give yourself permission to let go of this constant striving. This doesn't mean you stop growing or improving. It means you recognize that your worth is not tied to an unattainable ideal. Growth becomes a journey of self-discovery and fulfillment rather than a race to meet someone else's standards. One of the most profound aspects of embracing imperfections is the self-compassion it fosters. Instead of criticizing yourself for not measuring up, you begin to treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a close friend. You learn to forgive yourself for mistakes and see them as opportunities for learning rather than reasons for shame. Self-compassion creates a safe space for you to be vulnerable and authentic, free from the fear of judgment. It's in this space that true confidence and self-esteem can flourish. Embracing imperfections also deepens your connections with others. When you accept your flaws, you become more empathetic toward the imperfections of those around you. You no longer hold yourself or others to impossible standards, which fosters understanding and authenticity in your relationships. People are drawn to those who are real, not those who try to present a facade of perfection. Your willingness to show your vulnerabilities can inspire others to do the same, creating stronger and more genuine connections. Another benefit of embracing your imperfections is the freedom it brings. The pursuit of perfection often leads to constant comparison with others, which can be a source of unhappiness and insecurity. When you accept yourself as you are, you free yourself from the need to compete or measure up. You stop looking outward for validation and start finding it within. This internal validation allows you to focus on your own path and find joy in your unique journey, regardless of what others are doing. Embracing imperfections also means celebrating the process of becoming. Life is not about reaching a state of flawlessness, it's about growing, evolving, and learning. Your imperfections are a testament to your efforts and experiences. They show that you've tried, stumbled, and gotten back up. Each scar, mistake, or shortcoming is a badge of honor that reflects your resilience and determination. When you see your imperfections in this light, they become sources of pride rather than shame. It's important to remember that imperfections are not just physical or external, they can also be internal traits or emotional struggles. Embracing these aspects of yourself requires courage and honesty. It means acknowledging the parts of you that feel messy, unpolished, or difficult to confront. But in doing so, you open the door to healing and self-acceptance. The things you might see as weaknesses often hold the greatest potential for growth and transformation. Practicing gratitude can be a helpful way to embrace your imperfections. Instead of focusing on what you perceive as lacking, take time to appreciate the qualities that make you unique. Gratitude shifts your perspective from self-criticism to self-celebration. For instance, if you're hard on yourself for being disorganized, you might also recognize that this trait comes with creativity and flexibility. Gratitude helps you see the bigger picture and find value in the traits you might otherwise overlook. Embracing your imperfections is an ongoing journey, not a one-time decision. There will be moments when self-doubt creeps in, or when societal pressures make you question your worth. During these times, remind yourself that imperfection is a natural part of life. No one is flawless, and chasing perfection only leads to frustration. Instead, focus on the progress you've made in accepting yourself and continue to practice self-love and compassion. Self-love is not a destination, it is a lifelong journey that evolves with time, experience, and personal growth. It is a continuous process of learning to value yourself, nurture your well-being, and embrace who you are at every stage of life. Unlike fleeting moments of happiness or success, self-love is an enduring commitment to recognizing your inherent worth and treating yourself with kindness, patience, and compassion. It is a relationship with yourself that requires ongoing care, much like any meaningful connection in life. This journey begins with self-awareness. Understanding who you are, your strengths, weaknesses, dreams, and fears lays the foundation for genuine self-love. It involves taking the time to explore your inner world, asking yourself questions about what you need, what makes you happy, and what challenges you face. Self-awareness is not always comfortable, as it often requires confronting truths about yourself that you may prefer to ignore. However, it is through this honest reflection that you begin to understand and accept yourself fully. The more you know about yourself, the better equipped you are to provide the love and care you deserve. As you progress on the journey of self-love, you realize that it requires unlearning harmful beliefs and behaviors that may have been ingrained over the years. Many people grow up internalizing messages from society, family, or peers that suggest their worth is tied to their achievements, appearance, or the approval of others. Letting go of these limiting beliefs is a crucial step in embracing self-love. It involves challenging the idea that you must earn your value and instead recognizing that you are deserving of love simply because you exist. Self-love is also about forgiveness. No one is perfect, and mistakes are an inevitable part of life. The journey of self-love involves forgiving yourself for past errors, letting go of regrets, and understanding that every misstep is an opportunity for growth. Holding on to guilt or self-blame only hinders your ability to move forward. By practicing self-forgiveness, you free yourself from the weight of the past and open the door to healing and renewal. This forgiveness extends not only to your actions, but also to the expectations you place on yourself. It means giving yourself permission to be human, to stumble, and to learn. Another critical aspect of this journey is cultivating resilience. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and uncertainties, and self-love equips you with the strength to navigate them. When you love yourself, you build a foundation of inner stability that helps you weather life's storms. You become less reliant on external validation and more confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Resilience doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or pretending everything is fine. It means facing challenges with courage and compassion for yourself. It's about reminding yourself that you are capable and deserving of support, both from within and from others. Self-love evolves as you grow and change. What you need to feel loved and cared for at one stage of your life may differ from what you need at another. This adaptability is a testament to the dynamic nature of self-love. For instance, the self-love you practice in your 20s, focused on self-discovery and independence, may look different from the self-love you embrace in your 40s, which might prioritize balance and family. As you age and your circumstances shift, self-love requires you to stay attuned to your needs and adjust accordingly. Boundaries are another essential element of the self-love journey. Learning to say no, protect your energy, and prioritize your well-being are acts of love that require practice and courage. Setting boundaries is not about shutting people out, but about creating space for yourself to thrive. It's an acknowledgement that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and that taking care of yourself is not selfish but necessary. Boundaries also teach others how to respect you, fostering healthier and more balanced relationships. Throughout this journey, it's important to celebrate your progress. Self-love is not about achieving a perfect state of being. It's about appreciating the small steps you take every day to care for yourself. Whether it's taking a moment to rest, treating yourself to something you enjoy, or simply recognizing your efforts, these acts of self-appreciation reinforce the commitment you've made to love yourself. Celebrating your progress reminds you that self-love is not about reaching an endpoint, but about the ongoing effort to honor your worth. The journey of self-love also involves embracing your imperfections. True self-love is not conditional. It does not depend on meeting certain standards or being flawless. Instead, it's about accepting yourself as you are, including your quirks, flaws, and vulnerabilities. This acceptance creates a sense of freedom and authenticity, allowing you to show up in the world without fear of judgment. By embracing your imperfections, you learn that your value is not diminished by your mistakes or shortcomings.